Hey guys, it's Tim here. Today is November the 3rd. We're heading into the holiday season, so we are pretty much putting the hurricane behind us and looking forward to the holidays with family and Christmas. Of course, Christmas means Christmas gifts and toys, if you're a toy guy like me. So what I wanted to do today is just go over a couple of great toys from yesterday and today. So it's something different for me. Normally I'm going over some models or a sculpt that I built or painted or whatever, showing you guys. But well, I just took a trip up to Virginia to see my kids and hit some antique stores and picked up a few cool toys while I was up there. And one of the ones that I picked up was this is a Hasbro Amaze-O-Matic car. This particular one is the Astrovet, which was kind of a concept car back in the day. These came out in 1969, and for their time they were pretty cool. If you remember, at that period of time, slot cars were still around, not quite as big. Things kind of fell off on slot cars, I think probably mid-60s, mostly because of the Beatles. I learned that from a good friend of mine who worked for Monogram. When the Beatles came out, everybody who was building models and racing slot cars quit because everybody wanted an electric guitar for Christmas. So that killed the hobby industry at that time. Fortunately, my good friend Tom Daniel kind of saved Monogram Models at that time, who was one of the biggest manufacturers of slot cars and model kits, and by coming up with some really good fresh designs in the late 60s and through the 70s, I think Tom developed over 85 designs for Monogram, and really turned things around for them, and there was a resurgence in model building. But these particular cars, this was kind of a step up from a slot car. Of course, love the old box art. It was just great stuff. Dad and son working on the car. Inside, this is really in good condition. The catalog's still in there, and the paper insert. The little pylons that it runs around. These cards go into the back of the car and actually program it, and it's sold as a car with a brain. It really isn't. The car itself, it's almost like a modified slot car chassis, hard plastic body like the slots of that time period. We hadn't really doing a lot with Lexan bodies at that time, but it's quite ingenious. These little cars are very simple, but one of those program cards slid into the back of it, which immediately kicked it into gear. And what it would do, there's a cam that follows notches in the cards and makes the tires steer as the car powers along. So it would basically follow a preset course. Some of these cards were marked like Grand Prix or Daytona, so it would run the shape of those tracks, which was really cool. And this still works. I ran it yesterday. The biggest problem with these is the little drive wheel here that runs on, pulls the card through. I'm not sure if it was made out of cork or leather or what it is, and they have a tendency to dry out so they don't grab the cards as well. So I've done a little work on this one with some adhesive. I'm going to try something different because it's still slipping a little bit. It'll go some and then it'll stop and slip. But these are really cool, and they made several of these. The first run of them were mostly concept cars. You had the Charger 3, the Astrovet. Another one that I had that was given to me, my buddy Chuck, is the Ford Mark IV, which is a popular race car at that time. But these were pretty ingenious. You know, you think about it, at this time, computers were in their infancy. We had just put a man on the moon this year. So this was really, really early on. There was no, I mean, I think there was some RC stuff around at that time, but you're talking about the large stick, you know, boxes, no steering wheels, nothing like modern day RC cars. So everything was in its infancy at that time. So these were really popular, and they did 4 original releases, and then a few years later, I think they made these up to about 72, 73. They released some like hop-up type kits where you could buy just a body. They had a killer Boss Mustang, they had a Corvette, they had a dune buggy. I think there was one more, I can't remember what it was, but it was basically big add-on slicks. You could put big tires on them, and you could, you know, big motors and stuff. So really customize these things. So I think they kind of ran their course in 4 or 5 years. Of course, you know, and as things developed with radio control, you know, into the 70s, that started getting better and better. on a more recent note, I just went up, was visiting my son, and my son gave me this, which is a Hot Wheels ID car. I'd never even heard of this before. And what this is it's a Hot Wheel. This, in this case, this is a Volkswagen bus, which I really love. And this has a chip in the bottom of it. You scan the chip with your cell phone, and there's a Hot Wheels app where you upload your car to with your name. You create a little account and your name, and basically what you're doing is you can race your car. So it's converting everything over to, you know, the artwork, you know, caricatures or whatever, animated, 3D animated racetracks, which is really cool. And of course, it's a sales tool, because if you want to hop up your car, you're going to pay, you know, $5 for bigger tires or $10 for more boost, so you can build up your car. So, but it's pretty cool. I've done it. I'm not a big gamer, you know. I've done it a few times, and it is fun. But you know, I get bored with that stuff pretty quick. So it you know, didn't do a whole lot for me. But it's a great concept, and you can buy tracks with like a programmable piece in the track that uploads your races onto the track. I mean, I don't know all the details of it, but it's a really cool idea. And of course, I just love the van because it's a racing Volkswagen van, so that's cool to me. I love anything Volkswagen, so especially the early stuff, and this having the big racing flares and cool paint and red lines on it. So it's right up my alley. But that's how much things have changed, and how the computerization. You know, you got all this technology in this little tiny 1/64 scale car, which is really cool. But anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. I'll do probably a few more of these reviews on some of the older toys, just for something different to kind of mix up the channel. So stay tuned, and I will keep you posted. Sorry I haven't been posting as much. We did go through a pretty bad beating here with the hurricane, and my town took quite a bit of damage. We were pretty much the exit for the hurricane as it came across the state. The eye wall collapsed offshore here, just offshore of Daytona Beach, and we got a lot of rain, so we had heavy flooding here, a lot of damage to people's homes, unfortunately. So we're still cleaning up from that. My business is starting to come back, and we've got most of the mess cleaned up, you know, at my house. But you know, that's pretty much what's been going on, so I haven't had much time to post. But hang in there, stay tuned, and I will see you guys again real soon. Thank you.